ANBERNIC is well known to those who follow the world of retro consoles, and now the company has announced the launch of a new version of the Game Boy-style handheld capable of running thousands of old games. Meet the RG35XX. The device is a successor portable console to ANBERNIC's RG3000 line. The new model retains the design reminiscent of Nintendo's old Game Boy and features a 3.5-inch IPS screen with 640x480p resolution and a 4:3 aspect ratio. It may not seem like much, but it's worth remembering that the device is aimed at old games, from Nintendo, Mega Drive, and Super Nintendo to some 3D gaming options, such as Sony's first PlayStation. In other words, it mainly runs games from before the HD era, which means that the screen can cope even with low resolution. To run emulators for older consoles, the ANBERNIC RG35XX is equipped with an ARM Cortex-A9-based processor. The operating system is based on Linux, and the device has 64 GB of internal storage, as well as a slot for 2 microSD cards. The 2,100 mAh battery promises up to 5 hours of gaming. Although it is capable of running some 3D games, the ANBERNIC isn't fully prepared for this type of game. With only one digital stick, it doesn't have the analog levers that have become the main way to control games in 3 dimensions. On the front, in addition to the directional pad, it has Start, Select, and ABXY buttons, with a further 4 buttons on the back. All in all, the RG35XX is an entry-level retro laptop, and this is also reflected in the price. Out there, it costs $50. ANBERNIC itself offers some more powerful models, but for those who want to get to know the world of retro consoles, the RG35XX could be an excellent option. But the surprise is that ANBERNIC has just announced the ANBERNIC RG35XX PLUS, the company's newest emulation laptop. According to the announcement, this updated version of the RG35XX will have some very interesting new features for those who only own the original laptop and were already thinking about an upgrade. The first major new feature of the RG35XX Plus will be that it will dual boot Linux, probably Garlic OS, since that's the RG35XX's current factory operating system, and Android. It will also possibly come with a bit more power, as it will be possible to emulate platforms not available on the original version of the laptop, such as the Nintendo DS, Dreamcast, and PSP. To top it all off, it will also have Wi-Fi, meaning it will be possible to update it via the internet, download game covers from the laptop itself, and download apps via Android, as well as a TV output via cable. It remains to be seen whether it will come with a 2-screen or not. Pre-orders for the ANBERNIC RG35XX Plus start on November 25th, at a price yet to be announced. The Plus in the RG35XX Plus implies the Game Boy-inspired handheld has a more powerful CPU that enables it to run more demanding retro handhelds and consoles. The RG35XX could only run up to PS1 games, and not always with playable frame rates or controls. In ANBERNIC's official debut video for the RG35XX, we can see the handheld running everything from Ridge Racer, PSP, to Metal Slug 7, Nintendo DS, to Crazy Taxi, Sega Dreamcast. ANBERNIC hasn't released a full spec sheet yet, but the folks at Retro Dodo claim the CPU could be better than the ATM7039, which is the chipset used in the RG35XX. The site also says the RG35XX might have a 4,500 mAh removable battery. The RG35XX Plus heavily resembles the design of ANBERNIC's first Game Boy knockoff, complete with a D-pad, a 4-button setup, and 4 back trigger buttons. While we love the classic design, it may be a little rough to play some driving games using a D-pad. I guess if you want better controls, read, joysticks, for playing 3D games, ANBERNIC is happy to sell you an RG405V, RG353V/S, or RG351V. Also, how the heck do you play Nintendo DS games that require a touchscreen for the second screen experience? Based off the video, the two screens are just squished on the display. Presumably, the RG35XX Plus will keep roughly the same 3.5-inch screen size, which is kinda small for dual-screen gaming. ANBERNIC says the upgraded handheld will support Bluetooth 4.2 and Wi-Fi, which will allow for multiplayer game compatibility. You can even stream PC games to the RG35XX Plus thanks to ANBERNIC's Moonlight streaming feature. Alternatively, you can plug the handheld via HDMI and play on a larger screen. Wireless controllers are also supported. ANBERNIC won handheld lovers over with its RG35XX, which was widely available and more affordable than the likes of Analog's limited edition runs of its pocket. It seems like the company now wants to cater to those who expect a little more power with its RG35XX Plus. We're still not expecting ANBERNIC's next handheld to be wildly expensive, but it will likely cost more than the previous $50 to $60 price tag. ANBERNIC will make the RG35XX Plus available in white, retro gray like the OG Game Boy, and transparent black, as it should. The upgraded handheld will be available for order starting at 5 a.m. Eastern Time on November 25th.